Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Happy Hour Live. This is our holiday edition, so it's a little special. It's a little bit different. We don't have a restaurant or bar on today. Instead, I'm going to show you how to make George and Martha Washington's really boozy eggnog. So the founding father and his wife had a particularly boozy recipe for eggnog. And it has three different types of alcohol in it: whiskey, sherry, dark rum. It has a whole dozen eggs in it. And a ton of people have reported on this recipe. My colleague, Mike Pedagano, found it, which is how we kind of decided to make it for ourselves. And of course, George Washington has spent many winters in Morristown. So that's my little Jersey plug. That's what I think about when I think about Morristown. I always think of George Washington for some reason. So I would like to imagine that during his winter encampments in Morristown, he was drinking some of this eggnog. So I have some right here. I'm going to pour it into a teacup in a second. But first, I'm going to show you how to make it. So let's get into that. Happy holidays, everyone. George and Martha Washington, it turns out, had a very boozy recipe for eggnog, and we're going to make that special recipe right now. Here's what you're going to need. 1 cup of rye whiskey or bourbon, half a cup of sherry, half a cup of dark rum, 12 room temperature eggs, 3/4 cup of sugar, 4 cups of milk, 4 cups of heavy cream, and nutmeg and cinnamon for garnish. I'm using a recipe from Thrillist. However, this recipe is all over. Smells like Christmas. Separate the eggs. You need 12 room temperature eggs. The whites are going to go into a chilled metal bowl. So I put this in the fridge for a couple of minutes. And then everything else is just gonna go into a separate bowl. I've never made eggnog before, can you tell? Okay, next we're going to beat the egg yolks until thickened. All right, that's probably good. I don't know. Okay, next we're gonna add 3/4 cup of sugar into the egg yolks. Next, you're going to add the liquor slowly and beat it in. Oh wait, I forgot to add the cream. I'm supposed to be continuously whipping this mixture, but clearly I'm not, so. Okay, next I need 4 cups of whole milk. Now it's starting to look like eggnog. Finally, I'm gonna add 4 cups of heavy whipping cream, which is 2 pints. Look at that. Okay, last step is to take your egg whites, which have a little bit of yolk in them because you messed up, and whip it until it has stiff peaks. Okay, this is not at all a stiff peak, but it's what we're gonna go with because this is taking forever. I cannot believe the Washingtons did this by hand. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the egg whites and fold it into this very heavy bowl. Honestly, I probably could have halved this recipe. All right, I have folded in the egg whites. It is at capacity, and now we're going to do the crucial step of waiting 5 days. You need to stick this in your fridge, covered for at least 5 days. This is gonna make the flavors meld together, and it's also going to make it so that you can drink the eggs. The alcohol is gonna cure it so that you won't get sick. So I'll see you again in 5 days. So it has been over a week since I made that, and I dropped some eggnog off to my dear friend and colleague, Terrence McDonald. Hello, Terrence. Thank you for joining me. So, Terrence, you're going to try this eggnog with me. You've never had it.
I'm generally opposed to milk-based cocktails, but happy to try something new.
Well, as you can see, there was a lot of milk. Basically, this is all just milk, egg, and alcohol, all of which can make you sick. So I'm really hoping I don't poison you today. Oh, well, all right.
I don't have a cute teacup, so I'm drinking mine out of these cocktail glasses from the Pussycat Lounge in New York, now closed.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah, I have a cute little teacup. I've garnished some nutmeg and cinnamon on top, and I put some on yours, Terrence, before I gave it to you. So we should be good. All right, cheers. Let's try it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. That's pretty good.
I don't think it's bad.
No, it's not. No.
I mean, I think it should, maybe it's a little less sweet than other eggnogs that I've had. I know you don't have a comparison, but
I was surprised.
I feel like it's yeah, again, maybe just because we weren't as sweet and sugar obsessed in the 1700s when they were making this, but it's super creamy, and I hope that the eggnog and nutmeg that I put on there is coming through, because I think that's what's making it a little bit spicier.
Yeah. I'm sort of surprised. I was expecting not to like it because of how much dairy there is in it. But yeah, I'm surprised at how not sweet it is.
Here's the question: can you taste the alcohol in it?
Yes, I can definitely taste the alcohol.
Is it overwhelming in any way, or is it fine for you?
No, it's not overwhelming. It doesn't taste like a mocktail. There's obviously liquor in it, but
right,
no, it's not overpowering. I can imagine somebody who's not really super into a lot of liquor drinking this without a problem.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was going to taste a lot stronger, knowing that I think typically, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think typically, you get your eggnog mix. I always just buy it at the store, and then I take it home. I put in some either dark rum or whiskey, and that's it. So this one has 3 different alcohols in it, which is the reason why I was a little afraid that it was going to be overwhelming. But I think it's well balanced. The Washingtons knew what they were doing.
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. Has this swayed you into liking eggnog anymore? Like, would you order this out at a restaurant, or would you buy eggnog now? Or is it still probably not your thing?
If it tasted like this, yes, I like this, and I would drink this again, and I'm gonna have the second batch that you gave to me. So definitely.
Oh my gosh. I'm very honored. Again, I was super nervous. I was like, I could make Terrence very ill.
I mean, you still could.
I still could. We'll let you know tomorrow, I guess, if this went south. Now, what is typically your normal Christmas cocktail?
So the last couple years, I've been making a cocktail that's out of one of writer Tim Federle's books. He writes these cocktail recipe books, and his first one was called Tequila Mockingbird, and each cocktail has sort of a bookish theme. And this one is based on, the theme is The Tale of Two Cities, and you get a champagne flute, and you put a sugar cube at the bottom, and then you mix an ounce of gin and a half an ounce of lemon juice in a cocktail shaker, and then you pour that over the sugar cube and the flute, and then you fill it with champagne.
That sounds really good. That sounds like a perfect. I kind of want to make that for New Year's now with the champagne aspect to it.
Yeah, it's really good. It sneaks up on you. You really should pace yourself with them.
Yeah, I think that's the same with this eggnog. Now, Terrence, even though you've never had eggnog before, you are a person who makes a cocktail at the end of the night, which is why I feel you're very qualified to be our eggnog judge today. Do you think that you would ever make eggnog just on your own volition?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? I would make this recipe.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
well,
it looks
I'll send
like
it to you.
Serious pain. And if I were you, I would get a new mixer or something. Maybe you should ask for one for Christmas.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I told Terrence earlier that I had one of my mixers is I'm missing a whisk on my mixer. Also, I don't have a stand mixer, which I think would make this recipe just altogether very much easier. So if you are a person who has a KitchenAid, amazing for you. This is gonna be awesome. Merry Christmas. But I don't. So I was working with one whisk, and also I don't know how Martha Washington whisked 2 stiff peaks with no electricity. That doesn't seem.
People were hardier back then. They didn't really have a lot to do. There was no internet. So what are they going to do but whisk to stiff peaks all day and quilt or whatever?
Yeah, that's probably true. They were, they had an hour to just mechanically whip up their egg whites. For me, I as you saw in the video, I gave up after like 10 minutes. I was like, this is
sort of like a disaster, but it turned out well.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Terrence, I have one more question for you while we sip our eggnog. Okay, so what is your favorite Christmas film to watch? I feel like you're going to have an interesting answer for this.
One of my favorite ones is, I wish I didn't know you were going to ask this.
I know. I was going to say, I threw you a curveball.
Okay, so I'm going to say Christmas in Connecticut. It's from the 1940s, and Barbara Stanwyck plays a Martha Stewart type who is lying about her life. Like she doesn't live in the country. She lives in the city, and she doesn't know how to cook, but she writes a column that she pretends that she does. But then her boss calls her on it. And so she has to find a house in Connecticut and like spend the whole Christmas pretending that she's really this Martha Stewart type when she really isn't. And she falls in love with a soldier. It's really good.
Oh my God, Terrence. This is why I asked you this question, because now I've never seen that movie. I've never even heard of that movie. And now I immediately want to watch it.
It's really funny. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect thing to sip my eggnog with.
What about you?
Well, thank you. What was that? What about mine? You know, I have a my favorite Christmas movie, I guess, is It's a Wonderful Life. However, that feels like cheating because that's my favorite movie ever. So to me, I'm like, I just love that movie in general. So my favorite Christmas movie is The Polar Express, which is a very, much like Eggnog, is a very divisive movie because it has that like uncanny valley aspect to it. So a lot of people are freaked out by the animation, but I'm telling you, nothing gets me in the Christmas spirit more than The Polar Express. I cry sometimes watching it because I'm just so overwhelmed with like Christmas joy. So it's not a very classy or popular opinion, but I mean, I gotta speak my truth. I gotta say that's my favorite.
All right, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Terrence. I'm glad that you enjoyed your eggnog, and I hope you have a happy holiday.
You too.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Great. Bye.
And I want to thank all of you for watching. Like I said, this is our special edition. So we won't be doing a happy hour next week because it's going to be Christmas Eve. So I hope that you have a very happy holiday and, hey, maybe make yourself some eggnog.